certified banger. This was a certified banger. certified banger. This was a certified banger. This was a certified banger.
Check, check, 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Check, check, check. No, it's not supposed to be that way. Okay, okay, we're good. What's going on? How are you feeling?
This was a certified banger.
Can you hear the sound effects, guys? No? Yeah, okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. What's going on? How's everyone feeling? Can't wait to get started today. Let's go! Yeah, I was able to finally get the machine up and working, so super excited for that. Let's get started with our first track. Let's not waste time, and let's get into Glyphism chatter. Let's get it.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Feeling awesome today. That's how I freaking, hell yeah.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. That's the 1 minute 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Super cool track. I didn't expect the hello and goodbye. That was pretty funny. As regarding the mix, I would say I wish that snare drum hit a little harder. Aster, we just started the live stream, so this is our first track we're going. But welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate everyone. But as far as the track goes, the mix is solid. I would say the kicks could hit a little harder. The snare could be a little bit more up front. And during those spaces where the vocals cut in, I would say add some sort of like, instead of it just cutting out and just the vocals, add something else, kind of like maybe like a reverse delay or like reverse reverb to bring some more like, I guess, suspense to when the vocals come in for the hellos and the goodbyes. But I love that. Super cool stuff. Thank you for submitting. Appreciate it. And we'll move on to the next one. Let's get, so we got Tough Love by Unlikely Leaders. Let's get it. Okay. This one's a vibe. So that's the 1 minute 30 mark. Thank you for submitting Tough Love. Appreciate it. Sick track. No, that was definitely.
This was a certified banger.
That one was definitely sick. I love the vibe. It was very chill. What's it called? Love the pad synths that you had going on, and it built very nicely. And I loved the drum fill that you had. The doo 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 reminded me of like Phil Collins a little bit. But what I would say as far as suggestions, I wish that the vocals were a little less thin. They felt a little bit too thin in the mix. So I would bring back some of those low mid frequencies in your vocals. So I don't know exactly how you have the EQ curve on your vocals, but definitely bring some of those low mids back in there so you can be more upfront and take up more of the, what's it called, the frequency space with your vocals. Because with that type of track, you want it to feel very intimate. So you want your vocals to feel like it's right there. Like you can close your eyes and it's like someone's singing to you, if that makes any sense. But I would also say that the hook, I liked the transition going into the hook, but I feel like you could have even made it more creative. Like you could have gotten more creative with the production instead of just a drum fill. Like maybe like a high pass filter, like automated, or like do something cool with the track so it wasn't just so like standardized, if you know what I'm saying. Like I feel like it could have got really cool stuff. But super cool stuff. Thank you for submitting. Next track we got is Ganjali Super ID by Anjovi. Let's take a listen.
Yeah.
Sorry if I mispronounce that.
You're now tuned in to the super hit.
DJ
All
Clamor,
right.
yeah,
For you would
for
carry
sure.
up.
Just submit it through the
Contraband
link.
of crime through the Garden of
And music
Eden.
submissions.
The lost sands of time until the promised land is mine, baby. I live a lie, testify with every private
Appreciate the
long as I
boost.
live a life with you. I'm in refuge of frozen window panes you touch. Thou's my blood, my open need of veins of broken and framed. You help keep me afloat for a heaven. I'll do whatever hell you need me to do. To my avail, you see me through with a touch of silk. Your nurse's magic. Witch doctor's pill, the rush, the thrills, no water still. When I have ya, my sweetheart, he rocks. Lava fields of rapture, whatever my shield. He shattered no truth and faking whatever your perfume or fragrance to soothe the ache of my only. Dues with pain, if only to hold you close to my very last breath and sweat of overdose.
It all seemed possible, I always thought I could win. Immortalize my mind, if not fossilize my footprints. We orchestrate what fate brings, create with strings and woodwinds. Bards sing, guitars mingle with harps to pluck the heartstrings. Pardon me borrowing art to make sweet harmonies. They take me far from dark retreats to good things I hardly see. Embark aboard, arm and oar. The crew sings of gnarly teeth of carnivores. Snarling beasts with mood swings. I screws loose the booth, pings with shrapnel. Shoot the scenes, truth to babble, hallucinate in language. Rap a game of Scrabble, same cat that'll shred an axe. Came back.
So that's the 1 minute 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Super cool track. Love the drums. The drums were like, gave that like old school kind of hip hop feel to it. That boom bappy type sound. Really cool stuff. What I would say as far as critiques go for the record, I would say the vocals, like the overall, the mix feels a little cluttered. Like it doesn't really have a main focus of what's happening. And if I were to suggest anything to be the main focus, I would say the vocals should definitely be more upfront in the mix. So I would definitely, what's it called, bring some of those like background elements, as cool as they were with like some of those like monophonic synths that you had going on in the background. Like bring some of those elements down so that your vocals can really shine through. And some of the ad-lib vocals I feel could be just a little bit more locked in with the track as well. But overall, super cool track. Appreciate the submission. Thank you for submitting. Next we got Unfamiliarities by Beanie Productions. Another resubmit. What's it called? Someone who submitted in the past. So super excited to hear this. Let's take a listen. super cool track. Thank you for submitting. That's the 1 minute 30 mark. So regarding the what's that called? The instrumental, really creative production. It definitely took different turns that I was not expecting at all, which is cool. Like, I really do appreciate the experimentalness of the track and how you kind of implemented the guitar and how the bass synths were very plucky. What's it called? In that conga line that was happening in the beginning. Really cool stuff. So thank you. What I would say as far as critiques for the track is the congas. I would say bring up the kick drum in that part because it will help drive the track a little bit more. Watch the key signature as well for some of the what's that called? For some of the bass instruments that you had going on, because that, what's it called? That bass pluck that you had. Not this one. That note actually. That part, just watch the key signature because it was out of key, and there was an arpeggiator type synth that you had going on in the background as well. That also had a few notes that were a little off key as well. So just be careful of those things. But other than that, love the experimental aspect of the track and love that you were willing to take risks with your productions. So super cool stuff. Thank you for submitting. Next we got Let You Down by Aster. Let's see. Let's get it. After 2 tracks, actually would it be okay to use my skip the line ticket? Hey Aster, what's good? As far as the skipping the line, those are for Discord subscribers, not boosters, so just letting you know. I love it. I peeped your description. I love that demo. Wow.
This was a certified banger.
Nice job. Aster, I see you. I also see the threat on the bottom. You better link my social. The only thing is, I wish I had the stream is not set up so I could just copy and paste it like that. But what's it called? Feel free to post it in the Discord. Unfortunately, I can't just like drop links. I should set it next time. I'm gonna set it up like that. I promise. So let me write that down. There's a few different things that or actually post it in the Discord because I do have a moderator that they could also just dump the link in there too. So, but yeah, super cool track. I loved that, like the chord changes and that you had going on in your vocals. Like I definitely hear a significant improvement on the quality of what you've been doing since what I've heard and when we were doing live streams in the past. So really cool stuff. Hell yeah, let's go. So what I would say as far as suggestions, I would say the mix definitely could use some more compression overall. Your vocals could be more upfront. What's that called? And more dreamlike, I feel, because the mix it feels very dull and it feels very like it's very quiet overall as well comparatively. So I would try to master the track for one, and two, I would also say I would just really add some vocal compression and just add some reverb sense, but don't go too heavy on the reverb or else it'll drown out the mix, so just be careful. But thank you for submitting, really cool stuff. So let's go on to the next one. I believe Tiki's going to be linking your social media. So next we got Mr. Williams' Influence. Let's take a listen. This is literally 47 seconds.
Sometimes I feel strong, but it truly depends. The movies we view be reducing the lens with which I do seek true strength from you and some friends. They got a lot to say too, stuffing me food with these gems of advice. It's like they think it's holiday food, abusing their rights to speak truth in my life. They do it so nice, and God, I'm grateful, but you will suffice. Cause if us humans are right, we would truly have died to have got a plate full and do what we like. We've been taught what's hate, cruel, truth, beauty, and right, which means we gotta break rules in order to free your mind up in this modern day pool of gram influence, men feminine with man buns. I know I either look like I'm a crazy man or am one. Fools dribble for a chance to say they're trying to slam dunk, but I've been peeped the game since they done made a brand and won.
Cool stuff. Thank you for submitting. I wish it was longer. That's the first thing that I would say. Awesome.
This was a certified banger.
Super cool stuff. Really loved the drums, and the way that you were flowing on the track was really cool. I would, what's it called? As far as like critiques, what I would say is like overall the mix, I feel like your vocals could have some more compression. Definitely way more up front, I would say, in the mix. And just the instrumental, like I just wish they were just glued together more. In the, like with either some mix bus compression or like some mastering overall. But it doesn't seem like it's like a final mix, but I would definitely look into like compressing your vocals more, maybe even try some parallel processing for your vocals. I would even try like experiment with different delays as well. Maybe even try like a slapback delay with your vocals as well, because sometimes you get really cool effects with that. So I would definitely experiment with that. But thank you for submitting. Really cool stuff. And we're on to the next one. Let's get it. This is Look for Dog. What's it called? God Gave Me Style.
Look for dog.
I just reach for style. I'm hot, I breaks it down. It ain't my fault. You can't break it down the way I break it down. Listen, you can call me what you want, black and ugly, but you can't convince me the Lord don't love me. When my CDs drop, they sell the best. You call it luck, why can't it just be I'm blessed? I'm a track star running through life, chasing my dreams. That's still I made was straight in the mic for that triple beam.
Okay, just I do have to stop it because this is a 50-cent sample, and we can't. So no copywritten. What's it called? I don't want to get any copyright claims. Don't submit what's it called? Copywritten acapellas, copywritten instrumentals. But if I were to say from what I heard, really cool stuff. I feel like the sidechain was a bit much for the kicks that what's it called that you had going on with the sample, and just watch the key signature with the sample as well, because there was a little bit of a conflict there. But thank you for submitting. Just be careful for next time. Just no copywritten stuff. That goes for everyone. So next we have Lowbrine with Les, Pareto, and Voidness. The record is called Violence. Okay, okay.
To the brain, the feelings never change, so you never sense a danger. All of your actions fueled by your anger. Why you getting mad? Me brethren be seeing paper. Show them how to double it. Fuck it, we getting paid for years when the tormentation. I wait since time is almost up my facing. ECW, I'm coming through it with a ladder. Get some moment just in case somebody wanna stab you. Making sure the coroner tags and body bags her. If you ain't recognize a pattern, you lose your stature. Ain't no more reputation that you come back for. Ain't no saving face. Say your grace, take your place and shoot Captain America, cause I know the God will protect you. Stare at me so long, you feel a spaz in the neck, you end up dead.
Yeah, stepping in the room and it really got silent in here. Yeah, what you gonna do that you really want violence in here? Man, it really got silent in here.
Yeah.
You don't really want violence, yeah.
Pattern recognition, peak to saturated pistons, reaching maximum consistency, continue their conniption. I mean, the only way is up from assistance.
So that's a minute 30. Thank you for submitting. Now that was really sick. Thank you. Wow.
This was a certified banger.
Let's get it. No, sick work, guys. Like Lowbrine always bringing in some bangers every time dude submits. So appreciate you coming through as always. What I would say as far as like the track overall, drums are knocking, really cool piano sample. Vocals were nicely mixed, very up front, even with the second vocalist that came in towards the end. Still very nicely mixed, like very like exactly where I feel like they should have been in the mix. So kudos to that. If I was to say any critiques, I feel like the track overall felt a bit harmonically confused with the piano sample. I feel like you could have gotten a little, a little more harmonically interesting with the sample, I would say, and get more creative with the intro instead of just having the piano and the bass. I feel like you could have done some sort of like effect to make it different, so when the vocals came in, like then it became like what it was. So maybe even add like a telephone effect or like something to really get the listener to pay attention or think that, oh damn, something's about to it's about to start, because there was a good 28 seconds before of track before the vocals come. So the first 5 seconds are just crucial on a track. So just be careful of having too much lead in. But I know this is more of like an old school type track, which is totally cool. But I would still say, like, even with the simplicity of just the piano and the bass, like you could do more with effects to make it more interesting and draw people in. So, really cool track. Thank you for submitting. Hell yeah. On to the next one, we got Roaches Die Too by Gaboose. Love the name. Let's take a listen.
Hey Gaboose, you want this roach?
Fuck no.
Hey yo, what's the scoop? I'm back in the loop. She's screaming Gaboose, so you know that cooch is loose. Roaches in the mosh pit, they're getting tossed in. All my friends sitting around and we are coughing. You're a hoe, don't you know? From my bro, named Joe. Joe Mama, Barack Obama, can't drop a dookie on my face. We are up in space, I'll shoot you in the face, spray you with some mace. Bro, what the shit is laced? I will fuck a bird, that's off the record. Slip that bird right onto my pecker. If you ever try to step to me, then I will tear you into threes. At the pool, I got stung by a bee, but it never stopped me. If it were you, you would have peed.
He peeks into her room, then he sneaks into her room. He's only there to coop, feeling her, stealing her in her own room. It's a boom, coomed into her hair. Ooh, feel the bear stare at her boobs. Jail or therapy, which one will they choose? They don't care, you see, my brother is always doomed. I feel the gloom, it's a tough decision. Could he really be like this? Hold up, I gotta take a piss.
Oh. What is happening?
What's the answer? He's a cancer, he has...
What is happening? Oh my goodness. Oh my god. That was Roaches Die Too by Gaboose. What is... Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Thanks for submitting. There's definitely a lot to unpack there. I would say, as far as the track goes, the vocals were funny. I do, appreciate the humor. The instrumental was interesting. Like, it was definitely different. Like, everything about it was different, which, if that's your vibe, like, keep doing it. Like, keep going for it, man. Like, keep doing your thing, because that was pretty wild. Yeah. Yeah, even the chat's like, ain't no way. I'm praying this is nerdcore. No, but I would say, as far as the mix goes for the record, I would say, going in every playlist immediately, I would say, be careful with the, the vocal reverb and not having too much reverb on your vocals. And the vocals felt a little thin overall, and the track felt like it wasn't really glued together. So those things, that could be just mastering. So just be careful of that. I don't know if maybe you care about that, because it seems like it's just like a kind of like a fun throwaway record. But if you're interested in the mixing side, those are things that I would look into. But as far as like the vocals, very creative. I hope that was an actual piss, because thanks a lot if it was. But anywho, thank you for submitting, Gaboose. Appreciate it. All right. So next we got DJ Music. What's it called? Free Chase Epic Hip Hop Instrumental. Let's take a listen. Vibes, yeah. That's the 1:30 mark. Thank you for submitting. DJ Music, you rock. I know you've sent music to the live streams before, so appreciate you for coming back. I would say, as far as the track goes, love the vibes, like as the chat was saying, very chill. Love the flute that you had going on. The 808 was knocking really up front, very ambient kind of vibes. What I would say as far as feedback is that the overall thing, I feel like everything needs to be more in a space. Like it felt very just disconnected and a way to solve that is to add a what's it called, a track reverb send, so that every instrument except for like the bass and like kick drums, things with a lot of bass frequencies, you kind of send them all to the same reverb, so it gathers, like it basically puts everything in one space. So it'll help everything glue together. And I know that's pretty much just like a thing that I've been saying for the whole stream. If that's any takeaway from this stream, is make sure that your track is glued together and feels cohesive. Also, as far as the track goes, try not to quantize everything too much because it feels a little robotic. You want to have a little bit of swing with when you're doing what's it called, like drum production and everything. So you definitely want to experiment with shifting things a little bit to the left or the right of the what's it called, the exact like quarter notes or the eighth notes, because you don't want everything just so on the beat, because what's it called, that just, it loses its groove. And that's kind of like what really gives like a drummer, like when a drummer's playing like a groove, like you kind of almost feel it. And there's a reason, because they purposely will accent certain things, or they'll make sure that the hi-hat is just like a tiny bit before the snare drum, and things like that add up and really give your track more bounce. So that's what I would recommend. Just experiment with time shifting things, and that goes for anyone with vocals as well. Like a lot of the times, like when I'm doing mixes or productions, I'll experiment just nudging things just a little bit to the right or just a little bit to the left, and just seeing if it just fills in that pocket. And that'll definitely, what's that called, like I'm telling you, it's like, it's game changing. So thank you for submitting, DJ Music. Super cool.
This was a certified banger.
Super cool stuff. Thank you for submitting. We're gonna take the next one, which is Dream by Junior Felt.
Trouble staying grounded. All these pebbles feel like mountains. I could count a couple thousand sitting at my feet. May I remind you, everything you want isn't what you need. I've been wishing for a slow day. All this life ever seems to give me speed. So I close my eyelids. I don't know if it's real, if it's just a dream. I don't know where the line is. Maybe it's just that my feet come in between. Stuck in a dream state, take out a delay. Feeling like each day is stuck on a replay. Stroll down the sidewalk, feel like a freeway. And everybody else all caught in a speed race. And I'm just sleepwalking, reaching my pockets. Where is my mind? It seems like I've lost it. Oh well, who?
Alright, cool. So that's the 1 minute 30 mark. Thank you for submitting Dream. Super cool track. I love the guitars. The guitars sounded nice, full, wide. And what's it called? The reverb sounded really, really good on the instrumental. The what's it called? Especially when the drums came in, everything felt really clean as far as the instrumental goes. The vocals, loved the kind of like melodic things that you were doing. What's it called? And the vocals were really up front as well. As far as critiques go, like the lyrics were cool too. As far as critiques go, I would say the vocal mix felt a little muddy. There's a lot of low mid frequency information there that's making it really like cluttered in that area. And you have to really think of a mix as like a puzzle. You want things to work together, and sometimes you need to carve that hole for that other piece to fit in. So your guitars are already taking a lot of your low mid frequencies. So your vocals need to kind of like not take up, you have to almost choose one to take up that space. And personally what I would have done is I would carved a little bit more out of your vocals to give everything just a little bit more room, because there's a lot, because you stacked your vocals a few times. And I felt like overall your vocal doubles could be just a little bit more tight with the timing wise and pitch wise with the lead, so that they just lock in a lot more. So, and the vocal mix overall, especially when the hook came through, there was like these like oohs going on that was like panned, I'm assuming part hard left and hard right, along with the stacks and the lead. Like everything felt like it was competing for space frequency wise. So typically with background vocals, you want to cut out more of the low, even more low end, to give it even more of a separation from the lead vocals. So you can even, what's it called, experiment with trying different effects on your background vocals. Just make sure that they sound clean still as far as the frequency wise, so it's not too muddy. But thank you for submitting. Super cool track. Let's get it. Next we got EnvyJ. I ain't reading all that. I love the name. What's it called? I like this guy feedback. Nothing too hateful. Yeah, I only want any feedback that I give. I want to make sure that's very constructive. I don't want anyone leaving here like not having a takeaway, and nothing's ever personal either. So if I do say like it does need like some help with the pitch, like for vocals or anything like that, there's never any ill intent. It's always just to like, I want to see everyone grow, and I want to see everyone get like, what's it called, like improve on their skills. So what's it called, I never want to give feedback that isn't useful, if that makes any sense. But here we are with I Ain't Read All That by EnvyJ.
Yeah. Hey.
Sketch, you tell him.
Show me. Hold up. Fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Check them out. Yeah. Okay. Hey. Coming in cold, but the end of B5. Sick of B-bold, need new tie. You send 100 texts, bitch. I ain't reading all that, I'ma retire. Prior to this, you was talking about lies. Shit, prior to this, you was being a supply. You cry all you want, that shit don't really matter. Just being honest, I ain't trying to be quiet. When did I ask? What the fuck shit I did in the past? Yeah, I was right. Knew shit ain't gonna last. You hit me last night. I told you have a blast. Then you didn't think it would be this fast. That's why I never gave you the pass. Still I think, yeah, I can see it through like glass. Nothing really popping, but I'm feeling for first class like damn. Drop too much, not too much. Text coming in cold like for that's too much. Drop capping at the rain, no such. You probably know this if you stayed in touch. Last one shining, man, they got a clutch. Not talking about games, say you stay in your hutch. You talking about kinda like you ain't no butcher. Everybody knows you're a goddamn switcher. So let's get to the point, no hissing. Take on my wrist, you should know cup bands. Got a lot of itty bitty things that people be missing. Cause I'm that guy, and you're not. Can't make goodbyes when you know the plot. How you gon' act like you don't know me when you're the one who changed both ways? You fucked up. You're the one who.
Hey,
This was a
let's
certified
go. Nice track. Hell yeah. Nice work. Yeah, even the chat, holy shit, this sounds good. No, great work, EnvyJ. Super cool stuff. Really liked the instrumental and your vocals, obviously, but I really like the trumpet samples that were happening in the, what's it called, in the background, and the swing of the track was really cool as far as the instrumental. Let us know in the comments if you see this, if you produced it, because that'd be really cool. As far as critiques go, what I would say is that the vocals felt a little bit thin. I would even compress them even more, so they just are really up front. I know that's like, it's been very consistent with today with the feedback, but I feel like your vocals could just be even more up front, even a little brighter, so that it's just more up the forefront of the mix. And the kick and the bass, like I feel like they were competing for frequency space. So I would say don't be afraid to carve out too much, like with EQ, I know sometimes like what's it called? I don't know if you necessarily mixed it or who might have mixed it, but don't be afraid to cut out as much as you need, because I know sometimes you look at the EQ and you're like, damn, I'm cutting out a lot. But sometimes that's what's necessary. So use your ears, not your eyes when you're doing mixing. But as far as the vibe, like, loved the vibe. The lyrics were cool. I was vibing. And yeah, super cool stuff. Thank you for submitting, EnvyJ. Also, I would like to take a second to say, if you like the live stream and found any of the the reviews helpful, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel down below. We do this. We do this weekly, every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and the like button, because it just helps the algorithm, and we appreciate it. And if you also do want to help out as well, we are going to be sharing the form to fill out for the next live stream next Saturday. So if you guys would share that form, that would also mean the world. So appreciate it. You guys rock. Let's get on to the next one. Next we got CHNL. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know that you're a Discord, a Discord member. So shout out to CHNL. I believe that's what your name is. Get Home Safe full demo. Let's take a listen.
Nordy made a fucking hit.
Hold on to the ride, don't ever let go. Just make sure that the people on your right. Oh yeah, when I'm walking all alone in the night, I said hold on to the ride. Just make sure that the people around you right. Oh yeah, when I'm walking all alone in the night, man, in the night. Cause I was born to do this. I did this for the ornaments, I don't need no groupies. You never like my music, please stop acting stupid. I'm not fucking clueless, yeah. All those years you were pretending, all the truths that you were bending, how the fuck you still offended? Like your grave now just defended. You're just mad that I'm no longer dependent. Pussy bitches power. I got 6 of them coming every hour. I got money trees living in the living room. You know it's true. Sometimes I wanna notice you. Yeah, all my cash I never spend, I invest.
So that was 1 minute 30 seconds. Thank you for submitting. Super cool track. Love the melodies that you had going on for the hook section. Really cool stuff.
This was a certified banger.
Let's go. No, super cool stuff. Love the drill. It's interesting to hear melodic, melodic vocals over a track like that, because a lot of the times it's just straight up drill rap that's over it. So it's really cool to hear just something, melodic over it. It's always nice to hear. Track was knocking. Vocals, love the melody that was happening. I wish the snare would hit a little harder. as far as the track, like as far as critiques go. I would say the vocals, there was a lot of like unwanted sound. Like I think of you like maybe messing with the headphones or like preparing to go on the take. So it takes a lot of time, but it's always, I always make sure to go through all the vocal channels and just cut out all that excess noise, because it just makes the listening experience, like I'm not hearing like mouth noises or like headphone shaking, like it just takes away from the track experience. So I would say every track that anyone does, like take the time, go in and cut out those, like it seems like it's silent, like sometimes like it looks like it's silent, but just be sure to just go in and just cut out all the silences other than like breaths. Like you do want the breaths, but even lower the breaths too. Just take that extra time because it goes a long way. The vocals, they sound a little on the thin side, but I think that's because there's too much reverb going on in the mix. So I would actually dial back the reverb, because it sounds like you have the reverb plugin on the vocal track itself instead of using it as a send. So I would use your vocal as a send, so your vocals aren't so in the back and washy, and it's more clean, tight, and you could still get a lot of reverb if you use side chaining compression to the reverb using the vocals. So what's it called? If you guys are interested in any sort of tutorials or anything like that, just let me know, because like let me know any kind of content that you guys want us to do, or any sort of articles, that because we're going to be doing like a lot more content for you guys. So let us know what you guys would be interested in learning, or any stuff you would like to see in the future. But that being said, that's really all I have. Thank you for submitting. Super cool track. Next we got Pride by Figment Entity. So let's get it. Another Discord member. Wow. Nice chords. Nice. Very pretty. Okay, I see you. Like, I love the chords. Nice work. Nice work. Wow. Super cool stuff. Thank you for submitting. I know I've heard your tracks before, Figment, but this is the first time you submitted to the live stream. Super cool stuff. I love the chords that you had going on. The piano sounded nice and full, very warm. So really cool. As far as critiques go, I would say I wish there was more happening more melodically on the top of the chords, like not necessarily towards the beginning, but more towards like the end. And I wish it was longer. It just felt short. So I would definitely go back in and just add more to it, more to the idea. I would also say that there was some resonant frequencies like in the high end, like probably around like about like 1K to 3K. I would say I could be wrong with that, but that sounded like around that range, that there was like this kind of like tinny frequency that was kind of what's it called, that was happening every now and then when you were playing the chords. So I would go in with some EQ and maybe cutting some of those frequencies out, just really narrow band, and just sweep for ones that ring out like really really loud. But don't go overboard though, like cut out like 2 or 3. But thank you for submitting. Super cool track. Next we got Mona Lisa by Motiman. I hope I said that correctly. Let's take a listen.
Mona Lisa, eh. When I hear about your smile, I just really wanna see ya. I don't need your love, I just want a little glimpse of ya, girl. Oh, till I die, I'ma remember ya. Mona Lisa, what's the time now? What's so what's the time now, girl? When I see you, I just lose connection, no survive. Like I know I gotta do that thing at 7. We just 10 now, fucking guess we slave. Slow motion, drinking your potion. Dropped on my religion cause I'm giving you devotion. Flying to LA, give the people you to spectate. Hollywood is bleeding from your face, Sing to me, girl. Know the whole world wants you, but I got you for this time. I'ma show you off, put you on display for a month. Girl, you're my masterpiece, you Florama. You're just too good for me, must be phony. One and only, you're my Mona Lisa. Ay. When I hear about your smile, I just really wanna see ya. I don't need your love, I just want a little glimpse of ya, girl. Oh, till I die, I'ma remember ya. Mona Lisa. Take you to the club on a Saturday, and we skipping all the lines when they see your face. In the second that it takes to get you drinks, everybody wants to pull up to your space. And now you're getting invited to like all the parties.
So that's 1 minute and 30 seconds. Thank you for submitting. Super cool track. Love the guitar. The vocals definitely were very up front in the mix. Really cool stuff that you had going on there. Love when the drums hit in. It was just, what's it called? Really, overall, was a cool track. As far as critiques go, what I would say is I wish there was more track progression. It felt like it was pretty monotone. Like you kind of want with your tracks to have peaks and valleys, like, and them to be a little bit more apparent. And I felt that, like, the track was very flatlined with the energy, so you didn't really let it build up to that hook. So I would even experiment with maybe not having all the instruments and maybe just like letting the guitar play a little bit before you come in with your vocals, with the hook vocals for the Mona Lisa section. I feel like that could help with the track progression a little bit. What I would say is I wish the vocals overall, like melodically, I would say I wish it was more interesting melodically. It felt like it was a little too monotone with the pitches. Like you weren't really deviating from the da, da, like that from the main note that you had going on. So I felt like switching up the kind of flow that you had going on and really experimenting with other notes other than just those, like the couple that you were going on with. I feel like that would definitely add more, what's it called, diversity to your track. And I would say even add some vocal production stuff. So some layers, some harmonies. It could definitely benefit for those kind of things that aren't necessarily with exactly the lead, but stuff in the background that are doing like some other cool stuff as well. But thank you. One more thing as well, I would say there was a part where it was really obvious that there was a punch in, so I would just go in there and just experiment with shifting the vocals like a little to the left or a little to the right, just to make to try to get it to smoothen out. But yes, thank you for submitting. Super cool track. Next we got Float by 7. Another, what's it called? Another submission by 7. Let's take a listen. What was the EDM producer? Nice. Awesome. Thank you for submitting.
This was a certified banger.
Super cool. Hell yeah. What's it called? Always love hearing like different, what's it called? The different varieties and genres. I love it. As far as the track goes, love the build. Like there's definitely, I've heard an improvement from this track compared to the last one that you submitted. Like the build felt like it was building and building, and it was very satisfying when it dropped this time. So kudos to you, that was sick. I would say, as far as critiques go, what I would say is when it is building, I would recommend like maybe even automating a high pass filter and just like start to sweep up, and right when it drops, you take it, like you bypass it, or you remove the you take the filter off, so it just brings out all those bass frequencies. So like right around here when the snares start really picking up, like start adding that high pass filter to add more energy and what's it called. And I would even take a reverb, like a big, like a hall reverb, or just like an ambient reverb, like really big reverb, and just have the mix, what's it called, automating as a send to, well, the instrumental as a send to the big reverb, and just like turning up the what's it called, the mix until it drops, then turn off the mix. So it just adds even more suspense. So experiment with those two things. There's not really much else to say. Super cool track. Thank you for submitting. Again, appreciate it. Hell yeah. Next we got Bloodshed by Rubixx. Let's take a listen.
Flawless victory. That's the 1 minute 30 mark. Thank you for submitting Bloodshed. Super cool. Like, I always love that kind of funk type sound. That super aggressive synths and those vocal, what's it called? The movie samples or show samples or whatever that is in like the drops. It reminds me of like what they used to do in like, what's it called? Not like early 2000s, but late 2000s, like metalcore. They used to do that kind of stuff before the breakdowns. So it's actually, what's it called? I love to see it. As far as critiques go, what I would say is the kick drum is definitely knocking. There's no question of that. The snare drum feels very weak in comparison to the kick drum. So I would bring the snare drum up a lot so that it's just like the snare is just hitting as hard as the kick is. And those, what's it called? I wish it was a little bit more melodically interesting other than just going back and forth. I wish there was something else melodically going on to keep the, what's it called? The energy going as well. Because once you're going back and forth between two notes for too long, it just becomes a little boring. So just be careful of that. And what I would also say is the bass in the mix, when it does drop, becomes really muddy. And you lose a lot of the impact of the bass when you have it distorted like that. And I understand that that's the sound of funk and like that's what the style is, but there's ways to get it still knocking and very distorted but still clean, and the mix is clean, so you really keep a lot of that low end frequencies. Because if you drive it too hard, your mix actually becomes weaker. Like the bass doesn't really come through and it just sounds like just like distorted, like a distorted mess, and you lose a lot of that power. But thank you for submitting. Super cool stuff. what's it called? How do we submit? In our Discord server, we have a link. What's it called? We have a link in our Discord server that you can, submit a track to. We normally don't take submissions, like late submissions, but for the first few live streams, we'll take some. So you would have to join the Discord server and then go to our channel that says music submissions, or it's like, submit music or something along those lines, and then fill out the Google form, and then I'll be able to pull it up. So that's the best way to do it. I'll have the mod link the track, the Discord invite. So next we have Space by a whole bunch of question marks.
2, 1, 0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Should let me link it to you. Hold up.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Okay, you got it.
2, 3, 4. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You don't like to speak about our problems now. Wait, when you leave me, nothing what I did wrong. And when you cheated on me, I moved on really quick. When I talk to anyone, that seems to be a problem.
Cool. So that's the 1 minute 30-second mark. Thank you for submitting. Love the space. Like for me, like as you could tell by Space Hound Records, just the name of the company. I love outer space, love astronomy. So really cool stuff to hear, like the astronauts being sampled and whatnot. I love to see it. And love the chill vibes. The piano was really nice. It was very minimalistic, which I like. As far as critiques go, the track overall could use a mix. So I would say the piano felt very thin, and the vocals felt like they were like too in the background. I feel like you could fill out the space more, funny enough, with more like reverb, like a reverb send on the piano, and then cut a little bit of the low mids out of the reverb so it's not too muddy, and then have the vocals like a little compressed up front, and just watch the timing, because there was a little bit of like the timing and the vocals in certain sections felt a little rushed, so just be careful of that. But really cool track. Thank you for submitting, Space. We'll move on to the next one. It's called Embraced and Free by, I don't want to mispronounce your name, but let's take a listen.
I used to be a big old mess when I met you. I used to be all stuck in pieces, picking up trash from the roads. But you and your car and your shoes, you got out and held my hand. It's ridiculous. I didn't know what to say. You're just a funny old lady, but I understood. And you look at me, you looked deep into my eyes. I could see the insides of your mind. You dragged me to the back of your car and drove away, but it was on autopilot, so we could be fooling around in the back seat. Oh, but such is the time of alpha technologies.
stop, and we plummeted towards the water.
Thank you for submitting. That's the 1 minute 30 mark. I know there was only barely like 10 seconds left, but thank you so much. Love the what's it called? The guitar. I know that you said what's it called when we did post the link that what's it called, that it was only gonna be just guitar and vocals, but that's totally cool. It totally works. I really liked that. The guitar was nice and up front. The chords were very harmonically interesting. The vocals were really nice as well. It complemented the guitar nicely. And what's it called? I would say, just if I was to say any sort of critiques, what I would say is the vocals, I felt like the reverb was just a little bit too much. I would turn down the reverb like a hair, just so it isn't so like encompassing everything. And some of the, I would say that there's a little bit of timing issues of every now and then with the guitar and with the vocals. And I know it's hard because what you're doing is pretty complicated, like because I play guitar as well. So what you're doing is harmonically really interesting. So I know you're really like changing your hands, like going like I can already like see it. But I would say just watch the timing at certain sections in the track, and overall like I liked it a lot. The chat here says like giving me 70s easy listening vibes, like Jim Croce. I'm gonna say that name wrong, but but thank you for submitting. Really appreciate it. So next we have Z King, Count It Up.
I'ma do it all night and I do it all day. I'ma really just rap till I pass out. I be chasing the bag and I'm gonna brag, cause I'm not accepting no pass outs. We don't ever go broke, don't got no more cash in my wallet. We bringing the stash out. We ain't doing TBD or doing TV Bank, that's why we bringing the cash out. They be mad and I really do know this. They like, what? You ain't gotta say much. I mean, look at me thriving and really surviving. I do it and don't gotta say such. And I already said it, I'll say it again, but I'm really aspiring to make it. If you think it was better, then hop in the studio. Let's get it popping like bacon. Count it up. Then we go stack it up. Then we just save it up. Then we just pack it up. Count it up. Then we go stack it up. Then we just save it up. Then we just pack it up. Spitting some heat and I'm really iced out. I got hypothermia, go make the call. I keep it real, I ain't hiding nothing, no filter. I don't really fake it all. I'm a big boss, I'ma make the calls. I take the shots, I make the balls. You win some, you lose some, but I won't lose. You can take the loss. Tens, hundreds, thousands to millions, then end up in the billions. Have my own business worth millions and own a couple buildings. Have my own mansion in Calabasas, see through the ceiling. Already in the rap game, I'm starting off and I'm already killing. Yeah, I'm really like that. You know, let's never ever forget the name. Z-E-E-K-I-N-G.
So that's the 1 minute and 30-second mark. Thank you for submitting, Z King. Really cool stuff. I always love hearing tracks that are very like bass driven like that. And what's it called? The production overall was really cool. Love the kind of piano vibes that were kind of going back and forth with the melodic type instruments, and the vocals over the top, like the flows that we're doing, I felt like fit the track very well. So really cool stuff. Thank you. What I would say as far as critiques go is that the mix felt a little like crunchy, lack of a better word. It felt a little like too distorted and very muffled. I feel like the whatever like mix bus compression or like mastering that's there is like the bass is just getting crunched, so just be careful of that. The vocals felt a little thin as well. I'm pretty sure it sounds like a microphone issue, so it might be like what's it called, it does sound like it isn't like a high quality microphone. So I would recommend that like either going to a studio and recording it, or investing in like a decent like budget, or what's it called, a decent budget microphone. You can get like a decent one for about like $200 like used. You can get a nice microphone that's, I feel like, is a very good investment for any artist that wants to really up their their game. I feel like there are a lot of options. So if
that's another thing, is if you guys want like recommendations for gear and everything like that, also let us know in the comments down below. So super cool track. But yeah, I would say also just the vocals felt a little thin. Bring up the high end in your vocals. Watch the what's it called, the bass as well, because it's distorting and loses a lot of power. But thank you for submitting. Next we have Castle Interlude by UltraBlu, another submission from someone from last week. Really cool. Let's take a listen. Rode NT1A would definitely be on that list. High quality budget microphone. You can get around 200. Actually, even cheaper if you get it used.
You said I'm too emotional, yeah, I'm out of my mind, I'm devoted though. And I've never been the type to be sociable, cause I know the best things are disposable. But I'm open to new ideas, trying to get close to the source of fear. And I'm holding on to these years, trying to find hope as death come near. Hold up, wait a minute, you can't just make a divot. It's on my soul, you done took hold of all my thoughts of living. Never a regular visit, always a stable distance. Lost control of my own dome when you just stay complicit. The clock keeps doing its thing, but here I lay, the middle of May. Can't keep myself arranged, fell out of frame, I'm wasting a day. Maybe get my passport, let this all fast forward. Voyage to Paris, I'm all out of cares, tell me again, ain't what you asked for. Triple digit my dashboard, roll down the windows and take a deep breath of adrenaline. Drown out the cell that I'm living in, whipping the six like a Benz. I'm thinking that this is the last seat that I'm sitting in. Guess I've been missing the hints, so listen and listen, but slowly and surely I'm giving. And we ain't a fit and I'm sick of it, thinking this love is legitimate. The sky went dark, the days arrived, ashes to ashes, my past been contrived. Cross my heart and hope to die. Passion to madness, the deeper I dive. So deep within the labyrinth of this castle in my dream. I'm gathered up for one last battle to be free. I'm gonna claw up out this cavern, find my peace.
Awesome, that's the 1 minute 30 mark.
This was a certified banger.
Hey, let's go, UltraBlu. Thank you for submitting. Super cool stuff. No, the art, yeah, as stated previously, I also said that last stream, the art is super sick. Love it. The track overall, I think, is a banger, man. Like, seriously, like, nice work. The instrumental, very ambient, kind of, put you in like a trance. The vocals as well. Like, the vocals melodically were, kept my attention and were interesting. Really cool. As far as the mix go, what I would say is bring up the hi-hats and the snare, because the hi-hats felt a little quiet in the mix and the snare could just be a little bit more up front. And vocally speaking, what I would say, the delays that you had going on, the ping pong delays, I would say take some of the high frequencies out of it, because it felt a little too up front in the mix. And I could, with delays like that, you don't really want to hear it. Like, you want to more so feel it, if that makes any sense. Unless you're like doing like an obvious effect. But yeah, super cool stuff. Thank you for submitting, UltraBlu. Really cool. Really, like, we got some crazy tracks that have been coming through lately, guys. Really cool stuff. So thank you. Also, I do want to take another second to say, if you guys found any of this review or any of the reviews helpful, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to get notified every time we go live. We do this every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you. Appreciate everyone for taking their time on a Saturday evening. And yeah, let's get on to the next one. The artist name isn't here. Audore, Divided is the track. So, and when we do post the next stream, would really appreciate it if you shared it, because it will help, get more people to get some high quality free feedback. So I really do want to help a lot of people. The more people, the better. So let's get let's listen to the next one. Dang, Google Drive did you dirty. Hold on. I'll still play it. I gotta download it though. But let's take a listen to the next one. I'll get that sorted on the next screen. Hold on. As we play the next one, Nathan Chester. Try not to submit. So in the future, try not to submit. I'll put that in the forum next time. But try not to put Google Drive.
You wish the sun away.
I will check after the next two. Down loud pack, just so you know.
I'm never giving up because I'll never live it down. And I learned the hard.
Hey, no, super cool. I didn't expect it to build quite like that. No, super cool stuff. What's that called in the chat? The damn chat. We got, what's it called? One of the comments obviously joking, but 0 out of 10 elephants can't climb. And then 100 out of 10, he did the impossible. I do love the cover art though. Like, it's very symbolic. Really cool stuff. Love the kind of like what's it called? The guitar vibes, the vocals overall. Like, hey, we have you in the chat. Hey, what's going on? Like, I love the track. The cover art's really nice. I would say the, what's it called? The overall vibe. Loved when the hook hit. Like, it certainly was building. The drums sounded clean. I would say overall, what I would say is, I wish the mix felt a little fuller and a little bit more cohesive, because they're like the bass elements and like the what's it called, the drums, like I just wish they were just hitting a little harder, and the mix sounds a bit on the quiet side. So I would just check your levels when, what's it called, when mastering your track. If the track was mastered, I would just make sure that the levels are, I know a lot of times they'll suggest for streaming services for the mastering to be at -14 LUFFs, but that's a big bold lie. Definitely I would master louder than that, at least to -8, because then you'll get actual, like, you'll be more competitive with the loudness of the rest of the tracks that are on Spotify. So that being said, love the track. I think the mix overall could have, what's it called, like the elements could have their own space a little bit more. So I felt like the vocals, like they were definitely dominant in the mix, but I wish the other elements were also had their own space. Like the guitars, I wish were a little fuller in the low mids. I wish the drums had a little bit more bass frequencies going on, especially the kick drum. And when the vocals came in for the hook, the brief time that I heard, it felt like the hook vocals were a little overpowering everything else, and they were kind of sitting on top of the track instead of sitting with the track, if that makes sense. So again, like what I was saying, as far as the mix goes, like think of it like a puzzle. Like you want to carve different carve the pieces so the next piece of the puzzle can fit in between, so everything kind of complements each other. But really like the instrumental. All the instruments were there. It felt like they meant to be there. Really cool stuff. Thank you for submitting.
This was a certified banger.
I hope this review was helpful. Alright, so next we got Fu-kYuhFeelinz by, what's it called, Rastafarian. He was in here since the beginning.
Yo. Feeling like Mr. Clean Home, walking about one and every change of the terrestrial planet. Invasion of my territory. While a nigga turf war. Slicing my part circuit turf. Darling, no water with my snorkel. Snore like a Snorlax. Bitch doing jumping jacks. 360 no scope, but nigga cross the map. Hit a nigga right across the curve. Looking like a big yellow bird. Nigga thought he had the nerve. Bitch stay in your lane, Bruce Wayne. Yo, Billie Jean. How I'm stepping in you, riding in the jeans. Yo, fuck on your bitch and your mama and your daddy and your sister. I'm a real fucking rasta. I smoke on the real fucking rasta. Marijuana, the ganja. A real fucking don dada con gaga. Rastafari and John Wick the Baba Yaga. Suck on your mother. The top shut up. The real fucking gun shut up.
I always love, what's it called, like I always love tracks like that. Super fun.
Hell yeah. What's it called? So that was Rastafarian by Fu-kYuhFeelinz. Like, sick track. We submitted last week, so
This was a certified banger.
really cool stuff. What I would say as far as the track overall, love the bass. The bass was nice and clean. The instrumental sounded really, really nicely mixed. The vocals, I wish, like, I do totally agree with that Loud Pack. That was the first thing I actually wrote down, was that I wish that the vocals were louder. The vocals felt a little too buried in the track. So I would definitely, like, I know from the last time, like, this is even louder. I would say, like, even more. What's it called, in comparison to the last track that you submitted. So raise the vocals even more and use some, like, it sounds like it's dry. Your vocals are too dry. So I would add some compression and some EQ to really get your vocals nice and upfront to be able to cut through the dense mix that's happening with the instrumental. So definitely experiment with those things. And if you do have the instrumental stems, I don't know if you produced it or not, but raise the clap up, because the clap could be louder in the mix. So yeah, that's everything that I had. Thank you for submitting. So we do have like 2 or 3 more submissions, but they submitted during the live stream. So I'm going to pull it up real quick. So there'll be like a brief intermission. So, oh, sorry, there's one here before I forget. Audore Divided. I forgot we had to open up the, what's that called? We had to open up the track from Google Drive. So let's take a listen to this one. Okay, so that's the 1 minute and 30 mark.
This was certified Supreme Knockage. Supreme Knockage.
Wow, nice work. Wow, where do I even begin? The track sounded huge. Like the reverb was so clean. The what's it called? The what's it called? The kind of sound they had going on. I believe it's like a horn. It's a very like a almost like a it's like a mixture between like a horn and like a plucked string type instrument. Very interesting. Not very instrument. Really cool stuff. The mix sounded very clean. Like I really don't have that many critiques for this at all. Like you really did a stellar job with this. Like the only thing that I would say, like honestly, as far as the track goes, the track was really clean. Melodically was really interesting. Drums knocked. Like everything I could have asked for in like a track like this, you delivered it. The mix was cool. It was loud. This is a great example of like a nicely mixed like trap instrumental. Like super nice work. So
this was a certified banger.
The only thing I would say is like getting towards the minute mark and the minute 30 mark, I wish you could have done something else more melodically just to kind of keep it a little more interesting, but that could also be fixed with having a vocalist hop on the track as well. So either way, fantastic job. Honestly, phenomenal. Good job. Wow. But yes, thank you. Wow, I'm glad we didn't skip that one. That was crazy. Yeah, that snare was crazy. Yeah, that was phenomenal. Very great work. Honestly. So I'm pulling up the last few tracks now. But in the meantime, how's everyone's week been? What's everyone been up to this week? What type of projects is anyone working on? They got any new tracks coming through? What's the vibes? So we did get 2 more submissions. Just 2. Cool. Oh, this is a Dropbox link, so I have to do this off stream. Hold on. Let me download this because I don't want to show their email in front of everyone. No offense, but okay, I do want to pull this up. Okay, so that is Swimming in a Thunderstorm. So we do have, first we're gonna go over DJ Clamor. We have Forever, and we're gonna end with the Swimming in a Thunderstorm V1. But crazy week, been home all week watching my son. He's turning 4 next week. Oh damn! Happy birthday! Hey! So I got an insane amount of energy. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Oh hey! So first we're gonna do Forever's, and then we're gonna end on yours. La, 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 la.
This is for how much I don't care about. In the pits of hell, I found you there and saved you. I don't know how, I don't know why. Why did I even try? 'Cause you broke my heart in two.
There we go, 1 minute 30 seconds. Thank you for submitting. I just realized, like, with the medal, like, when that came in, I recognized you, like, because you submitted in our Discord before. So, super cool work. What's it called? I love, like, for me, my favorite genre, if I had to pick one, is metal. So, every time we get metal, it's, like, close to home. It's close to home. As far as the the track goes, really cool stuff. Screams were nice and up front, really, really nice guttural kind of stuff going on. Yeah, for real, like your name is very confusing. I would love to, I would just like to point that out as well. DJ Clamor, you would not expect someone with the name DJ, in their name to produce a track like this at all. But it's cool that you're unique, so keep at it. I would say, as far as critiques go, the instrumental was cool. The vocals, I felt, were a little too upfront. I felt like they were sitting on the track, they weren't sitting in the mix. They were too loud in comparison to the mix. So I would bring your vocals down. The drums overall felt a little too over compressed at times. I don't know if it might be your cymbal processing that you have going on, but they felt a little too squashed and lifeless. So you want to make sure that the compression that you do is tasteful. And if you do a lot of compression, like a lot of the times you want to do a parallel compression if you're doing heavy compression, so that you have some of the dry signal coming through that still maintains some of that transient information. So be sure to just ease on the compression there. And
just overall, I think you were trying to solve an issue with compression that I felt like would be solved with EQ. So I would just carve out some of that frequency, those like 6K to like 9K, and like the cymbals like can get really harsh. So carve some of that frequency information out. And when it got to about like a minute in, there was like a guitar, like the vocals kind of switched to more melodic. I would say watch like around like 4K in the guitars, because they were really piercing, and the vocals I would say turn down even more. But thank you for submitting. Really cool track, DJ Clamor. Love your name. And thank you for submitting again. So really cool stuff. And last but not least, we have Swimming in a Thunderstorm. I played bass guitar, programmed drums, sang, mixed, and mastered on this track. Hey! So let's take a listen. I'm excited. So that's 1 minute and 30 seconds. Thank you. Wow, really cool stuff. Yeah, like I totally agree with Tiki T in the chat. Coheed and Cambria vibes. Yeah, no, really cool stuff. I really enjoyed that.
This was certified banger.
Really cool stuff. Thank you for submitting. What's that called? I feel like that's like the perfect track to end on, because it was just like really high quality. The drum samples I felt like you used were really nice. Your vocals, I love your vocals. What's that called? The vocal tone I feel like fit the track very well. The guitars had they had their space, like the beginning. I would say as far as critiques go, what I would say is watch the bass and the kick drum. They are competing a little bit for space. So I would say just try carving out some frequencies just to make sure there's some room for each one. And maybe even try like using some multi-band compression to really glue that bass information in, so that they are just really working together, not fighting each other. The vocals, I think, like a lot of the times when artists mix their own vocals, I feel like they are too afraid to have them up front, like as up front as they need to be. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like hearing your own voice. Or I know a lot of artists are like that, where they don't necessarily like hearing their own voice. But what's it called? I would say bring up the vocals more, because they get a little drowned out in the track. So I would also say that the vocals, like you kind of started on like a high note with what's it called, with the instrumental, and you kind of stayed in that, what's it called, those like melodically in that range. So don't be afraid to, what's that called, don't be afraid to like start lower in your register. So when the track builds up and then it gets to the hook, like when you go up to where you were, like the hook will definitely hit a lot harder. Like that's more of like an arrangement issue that I would say. So I would like work on maybe adding like some lower melodic stuff and build until you get to that high point. And then even like try stacking your high vocals, maybe experiment with like the octave down and layering it too, and maybe spreading out that for the hook only.
So maybe like experiment with those kind of things. I have the opposite problem, so I tried to overcompensate by not making them as loud. Yeah, I would bring them back up. Always use a reference track when possible. And I would say the drums, the snare drum and the kick drum kind of got lost in the mix. So I would like go in and see where the fundamentals of each of those sounds are and just carve out some of that information out of like the guitars so that it isn't masking the drums, and maybe even try some sidechain compression with the snare and in the guitars, just so when every time the snare hits, it will duck the guitar, but only when the snare hits. So I would experiment with doing that with the snare, because with metal in a track like this, you want to like feel the snare in your chest, because there's a lot of low mids and you want it to be very tight and just like almost punch you. So I would try sidechain compression to really carve out that space. But overall, really cool track. Thank you for submitting, guys. It's been crazy. We've been, what's it called? Some of these tracks today have been like so good. So kudos to everyone, like straight up.
This was a certified banger.
Like straight up, like great work, everyone. Thank you for everyone who submitted, and I will be sure to post the new link to the form in our Discord server tonight. So be sure to join the Discord server if you haven't already. There's a role in Claim Your Roles that says like music reviews live ping. Like if you get that role, you will get notified every time that we add a new form, and we'll be posting the link, like what's it called, like not tonight, but most likely tomorrow or the next day on our other social media platforms. So if you don't catch it on our Discord, like you can catch it on the other social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. So thank you everyone for joining me today. If you found any of the reviews helpful, be sure to subscribe and like the video. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next stream on next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out, guys.